He's been causing chaos during commercial breaks for over a decade. But there's so much more to Allstate spokesman Dean Winters than selling insurance. From his near-death experience to his extensive acting career, this is the man behind the mayhem. Dean Winters came into acting relatively late in life. After knocking around Europe for a few years in his late 20s, his brother Scott introduced him to New York City acting coach William Esper. Winters took a class with Esper and quickly caught the acting bug, immersing himself in the downtown theater scene of the early 1990s while bartending to pay the bills.
When I was 28 years old, I was homeless. I didn't have a career. And I got dragged down to meet an acting coach, and he became my mentor, and he kind of got me into it.
In a 2021 interview with Backstage magazine, Winters recalled the grind of those pre-cell phone, pre-internet years, calling for auditions at the corner payphone and mailing out copies of his headshot to agencies and theaters around town. Even in those early struggling days, Winters was serious about his craft, and he expected the same from those he worked with. He recalled one nightmare audition for a film that he had spent days preparing for, but did not receive the same level of attention from the film's director. He elaborated, "I was off book on 5 pages of lines, doing my best, and this guy is in the back on his phone, texting and eating a sandwich. I remember taking my script and throwing it at him, hitting him in the face. I didn't get that one. I have a lot of integrity and I have a lot of loyalty, but if you're going to treat me like that, it's coming right back to you in the form of a script at your head." During the 1995-96 TV season, Dean Winters had a recurring role as Tom Moran's on NBC's acclaimed police drama, Homicide: Life on the Street. He managed to land the role thanks to his friendship with Homicide creator Tom Fontana, which began at a bar in the Upper East Side at around 2 in the morning. The pair hit it off, and Fontana offered to write a role into the show for Winters, but the actor passed. As he recalled to AV Club, "I told him I wasn't ready to be on TV yet, because I was still living downtown and doing theater." Eventually, though, he relented. When Fontana moved on to create the searing prison drama Oz for HBO, he wrote the role of Ryan O'Reilly specifically for Winters. Winters isn't the only one in his family with an Oz connection. His brother Scott, a fellow actor, also appeared in the show. A third brother, Bradford Winters, was on the Oz writing staff. Oz was a landmark show for HBO, bold and theatrical while also punishingly real. It explored adult themes and serialization in a way that television never really had before, with levels of explicit language, violence, and nudity that would be shocking even in an R-rated film. Thanks to the men's prison setting, the show was also a somewhat infamous pioneer in the field of male exposure and sexual violence on the small screen. Its first full frontal scene came in the 5th episode of Season 1, as Winters' Ryan O'Reilly has a mental breakdown while being held in solitary confinement. It's something that he seems at least a little proud of.
I was the first male to ever be full frontal nude on American television, so I kind of hold that mantle, which
Good
is
for you.
Thank you very much.
That statistic isn't entirely correct. The 1989 Western miniseries Lonesome Dove featured a brief moment of exposure, and in February 1997, NBC broadcast Schindler's List in primetime, uncensored, and ad-free. But the spirit of the boast is true. Oz was a television game changer, and it paved the way for the next 2+ decades of adult-oriented storytelling. Many men would bear all on the show, literally and figuratively, but Winters was undoubtedly the first. As a young man, Dean Winters wrote himself an acting bucket list of all the different kinds of projects he aimed to perform in someday. He told AV Club, "I was like, I want to be in a horror film. I want to be in a Western. I want to be in this. I want to be in that." One item Winters can cross off that list: he has appeared in a horror movie. He played a sleazy businessman mourning his wife and dealing with amnesia in the 2002 direct-to-video release Hellraiser: Hellseeker. It wasn't necessarily a dream come true, however. In fact, Winters didn't have the best time on set at all, saying, "I took that movie at the last minute. I got to Vancouver, and if there were 120 scenes in the movie, I think I was in 116, and I got sick, like at the end of the first read-through." Winters wound up being extremely ill for 3 weeks of the 4-week shoot. But one bright spot was that some of the film was shot in a real psychiatric facility. Winters admitted, "I was having nightmares and seeing visions in the hospital. It was just bananas, but it was cool. I got to work with Pinhead, which was a dream come true." For viewers of the NBC sitcom 30 Rock, Dean Winters will always be Liz Lemon's arrogant, sleazy, beeper-selling, on-again, off-again boyfriend Dennis Duffy. Duffy's many quirks, including his use of dummy as a nickname for Liz, made him a fan favorite. But he almost didn't get the gig. As Winters himself put it, "I went to the audition for 30 Rock. I walked in, and there was like 30 guys up there reading for my role. And they were the funniest guys in New York City. I'm not going to mention any names, but they were all a bunch of funny guys my age." Faced with that level of talented competition, Winters bolted. Later on, his agent's assistant called to ask how his audition went. Winters lied and said it went well, but the assistant called him out. Winters continued. He said, "Really? That's interesting, because they're waiting for you. They said they haven't seen you yet." The agency also issued an ultimatum: go back to the audition or they'd drop him as a client. Needless to say, Winters went back, and he got the hilarious part.
I'm in. And when I grab on, I do not let go. Like a killer whale going nuts on its trainer at SeaWorld.
In a way, Dean Winters was right to be intimidated by all the comedic actors lining up to audition for 30 Rock. It's easy to forget now, but Winters was not seen by many as a comedy guy in the early 2000s. His best-known roles at the time were Oz and Law & Order SVU, both of which featured horrific assaults and murders. 30 Rock transformed his career, and in the years since, Winters has fully given credit to the show's creator, Tina Fey. He told Backstage Magazine in 2021, "Tina's in my top 2 favorite people in Hollywood. She's always been in my corner." What was originally meant to be a 3-episode arc in the first season became a recurring role, as Beeper King Dennis Duffy appeared in each of the show's 7 seasons. Since 30 Rock ended in 2013, Winters and Fey have remained in each other's orbit. In 2019, they reunited for a pair of Allstate ads promoting the insurance company's DriveWise app, and Winters has made guest appearances in the Fey-produced comedies Girls 5 Eva and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. He said of his friend, "I'll do anything for Tina. Just to be part of a Tina Fey production, she knows the quality is going to be good. The actors are going to be good. Everything is going to be good."
You can't kick me out. I got squatters' rights.
Which is it? You love me or you got squatters' rights?
I don't see why they're mutually exclusive.
Oh!
One morning in June 2009, Winters awoke with a fever and stayed in bed all day. The next morning, he still felt terrible and noticed he'd turned gray, so he went to his doctor's office. That's where he collapsed. An ambulance raced Winters to Lenox Hill Hospital, but on the way, his heart stopped for 2.5 minutes. Paramedics revived him, and he wound up spending 3 weeks in intensive care to recover from a horrific bacterial infection. Over the next year, Winters spent a total of 95 days in the hospital and endured 10 operations, including the amputation of 2 toes and half a thumb, as he developed gangrene during his ordeal. He was too sick to act for a year, but exactly 1 year and 1 day after he almost died, Winters' best-known work hit screens when Allstate launched its Mr. Mayhem campaign. Winters almost didn't make those famous Mayhem ads. First off, after his medical nightmare, he had to relearn how to walk. He recalled to the Sioux City Journal, "I was feeling sorry for myself. I had lost toes and half a thumb, and the tip of my nose fell off. And this nurse took me to the children's burn unit. I saw these 8 kids with prosthetic legs playing soccer, and I thought, that's it. That's the moment when I turned everything around and decided to learn how to walk again." Encouragement came from colleagues, and Dennis Leary cast Winters in Rescue Me. After that, Allstate Insurance sought him out to play Mayhem in its huge commercial campaign, but Winters initially turned it down. The actor joked on HuffPost Live, "When they offered me the commercial, I said no. My smartass remark was that I became an actor, so I wouldn't have to put on a suit and sell insurance. And then my agent slapped me around and said, 'Come on, get real.'" The Leo Burnett advertising agency conceived the Mayhem ads, and in 2011, Burnett Executive Vice President Nina Abney told Ad Age that one of their main goals was to, quote, "kick Flo's ass." She was speaking about Allstate rival Progressive's extremely popular advertising mascot. Thanks in part to the Flo ads, Allstate's market share had dropped for 2 straight years. The previous ad campaign was pretty unmemorable, with actor Dennis Haysbert calmly and seriously reminding TV viewers of the importance of insurance. The Mayhem campaign reversed Allstate's fortunes, with Winters' character adding an emphasis on value over price. After all, Mayhem frequently belittles cut-rate insurance and the fools who buy it.
Ow, what a hit. And if you have cut-rate car insurance, the cost to cover that might tank your season.
In 2011, 502 Americans were surveyed on 11 insurance company ad campaigns. After the Geico Gecko and Progressive's Flow, Allstate had the most correctly identified ads, thanks to Mayhem. Considering that the Geico and Progressive characters had been seen on TV for years and Mayhem had only been around for months, that proved to be some remarkably quick setting brand awareness. An Allstate commercial from March 2023 features Winters once again as Mayhem, taking the form of your highly competitive older brother, whose overly aggressive basketball playing turns a friendly pickup game into a potentially costly repair job. The other brother, the one whose garage gets wrecked, is mostly kept in the background as Mayhem hogs both the ball and the scene. But it didn't take long for fans to recognize him as Winters' real-life brother and former Oz and Homicide co-star Scott William Winters. The two Winters brothers began their on-screen careers at around the same time in the mid-1990s, and Scott has also played his share of cops and criminals. His most recognizable role may just be one of his earliest. Scott plays the Harvard blowhard that gets shown up by Matt Damon in the 1997 drama Good Will Hunting.
How do you like them apples?
The scene and its instantly memorable punchline was parodied 4 years later in Kevin Smith's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, with Damon, Ben Affleck, and Winters all reprising their roles. Shooting 30-second TV commercials is Dean Winters' most widely known gig, but it leaves him more than enough time to do lots of acting in movies and on TV shows. Since the Mayhem campaign began in 2010, Winters has surfaced on sitcoms like Up All Night as Will Arnett's brother and Brooklyn Nine-Nine as a hotshot detective known as The Vulture. He's also appeared in Divorce as a foul-mouthed lawyer and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt as the voice of a rabbit cop in a police drama called Bunny and Kitty. In addition to his recurring roles on 30 Rock, Rescue Me, and Law & Order SVU, Winters starred in Battle Creek, a short-lived CBS crime dramedy co-created by Breaking Bad creator Vince Gilligan. Winters has also appeared in films like John Wick and The Devil You Know.